Fellas, how's it going? Welcome back to the Barely Noticed podcast. I am your host, Sick Boy, along with my co-host, Crawdaddy.
Yep.
And today, our special guest, after talking about him for some time and saying we'd have a guest, and we still haven't in forever, we finally have Dylan.
Hey, what up?
Dylan is a close friend of ours that we have all, well, I guess Dylan and Tyler have known each other longer than when I jumped in the mix, but we've all known each other for I don't know, 15, 16 years now. I guess how long would you say you guys have known each other? Because you knew each other since like before even the first grade, right?
Oh,
Kindergarten.
yeah.
Because you live next
Kindergarten,
door to
pretty
each
much.
other.
Cool 16 years or so.
So yeah,
I'd say so.
been a fat minute. Dylan's been in a few videos of ours. We brought him up numerous times in the podcast, so we finally got him down for a podcast episode today. And before we jump into asking you any specific questions or anything like that, we talked about it last podcast. How bad is Tyler's old house from that car?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here, we'll start from the beginning. So it was late at night one night. I look out my window, I see about 10 police cars and like 3 fire trucks. I thought somebody got shot. So I went out there to go be all nosy. Turns out there's a car on his front porch. So the next morning while I'm heading to work, there's one of the bushes got completely like uprooted, taken out, and the brick like front porch is like destroyed on like the left side. Bricks everywhere.
Because Tyler told me that you said to him that someone ran into the house, and I won't go too deep into it because we already talked about it last time. But what do you have to be doing to mess up that bad to drive through the front of somebody's house? Like, was it someone who lived there, or was it just a random dude? Do you know it all?
It was just some random Kia Soul.
Oh my gosh.
I've never seen that car in that parking lot
I
or driveway.
I can imagine you looking at it too, because Dylan's house is like sideways. Like the side of Dylan's house faces the back of Tyler's old house, so his window can look straight to where Tyler's is. And I could just imagine you being the nosy neighbor in like the robe in your slippers, like looking across the fence, like what going on over there?
Oh, that's 100% how it was.
Yeah, that wow. I don't even anyway, we already talked about it. I won't get too wrapped up in it. But so we obviously talk a lot about like YouTube and gaming and things like that, and growing up we were all super close playing video games, Xbox. You were the first one. Dylan is the reason Crawdaddy and I have PCs. He was the first of our friend group who joined the master race, and then Dylan would tell us all the time, "You guys got to get one. You got to get one." And we're like, "Shut up, bro!" And then we got them, and it's the best $1,500 I've ever spent. Do you want
I
to?
heard it.
Do you want to take us through like we've talked about our favorite games and growing up and playing Xbox and stuff. If you want to kind of go down memory lane and I don't know, games that were interesting or experiences of us playing stuff together, just kind of what that whole scenario was like.
Definitely just all of us back in the day hopping on like Call of Duty, search and destroy, just having fun. Then it progressed to like Rocket League. Tyler
Oh
didn't really
yeah,
like that.
Dylan's heavy. I mean, you don't still play anymore, do you?
No, I haven't played it in a few years.
Yeah, you're not like a big gamer guy anymore. Of our friend group, Dylan used to be like the biggest gamer, I would say, out of all of us, and going to sleep late in the AM and waking up late in the PM. And just, you had I mean, I guess you'd say like your gateway drug was like the original MW2, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Is that your favorite COD?
It's a toss up between MW2 and Black Ops 2.
Which one do you think you played more of?
Definitely Black Ops 2.
Yeah,
I
I
played that game on the 360 straight for probably like 3 years.
I remember when we had initially met and become friends, you used to talk about MW2 all the time. And if I would spend the night, we'd end up playing it out in the living room and taking turns with the controller and things like that. And there are everybody has, everybody has that Call of Duty or Call of Duties that is like the nostalgic, you think of Call of Duty, you think of growing up playing video games, you think of that. I played the very first Modern Warfare, skipped MW2, skipped MW3, and then picked it back up at Black Ops. So, people will argue which one's better, the Modern Warfare series or Black Ops series, but I just kind of missed that. Just, I don't know, for whatever reason. Well, I guess I didn't have an Xbox until I was in like middle school, so didn't really have a way to play
Little,
the Call of Duty games.
little side note. I remember way back in the day in like middle school, used to be like, yeah, I love COD Modern Warfare, like the first original one. I remember I came over to your house and you had it on the Wii.
Yeah, yeah, we've talked about that. Yep. Real ones played the Call of Duties on the Wii. There was only ever 2 CODs on the Wii. The
Nah.
very first Modern Warfare was on the original Wii, and you have to like point the remote and use the nunchuck and it's listen, man, you're a real gamer if you can do that. That is a whole different ball game. And then I'm pretty sure they put Black Ops 2 on the Wii U. If I'm remembering that
Yeah, pretty
correctly,
sure.
those should be the only 2. So, if your parents didn't let you get an Xbox or you were a sheltered kid, that was the only way you could get the fix. And I was the annoying neighbor or kid that all of my other friends had Xboxes. So every time I went over there, I'd want to play Call of Duty or play
Mhm.
Xbox games because I never had that. So I was just like fiending to feel a part of something, to not feel left out. And you've, like I said before, you are the biggest gamer. I mean, you're the ones you got hooked on the most. Call of Duties, obviously.
Yep.
Rocket League. Do you want to discuss your
Way too much
relationship?
Rocket League.
Yeah, a lot of Rocket League.
I played that game straight since what was it, like 2015, all the way up until probably like 2021.
What's your highest
Yeah.
rank?
Uh, GC2, Grand Champ 2.
If you had to guess how many hours you've put into that game,
I've tried to do the calculations before between Xbox and PC. I think I came to like 5,000-6,000.
it's gotta
God.
be. Yeah, it's gotta be.
Lord.
Dude played so much Rocket League, it's insane.
If you
I
don't know Rocket
remember.
League, to put in perspective the ranks, uh, Grand Champ 2 is like the one rank away from Supersonic or is it? I can't remember. Supersonic Legend, which is like people on the leaderboards and like pro players. So
So
I was
you're
like
pretty
right underneath
close.
that for a little bit.
What are you gonna say,
It was
Tyler?
a hurdle.
Oh, I was gonna say, I remember at one point during high school, this was before he even stopped playing. I remember him saying like it was 30 days, like on Xbox at least, it was like 30 days or something like that.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
ridiculous amount. Dylan, we have always said this, and it's not to be said in a rude way. Dylan is always really good at stuff that like is just super bizarre. Like certain video games, he's super good at them. He's like good at all the weird sports, like pool, darts, stuff like that. And if Dylan like ever had just that Michael Jordan mentality of like honing in on one thing and doing it, I don't doubt that you'd be able to do that. You're pretty decent at skateboarding, but we didn't do that too much as kids. That was kind of like middle
I've been
school
getting into that a
phase.
little bit more recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you going skating?
So me and Jake found this one place near, that long road that goes
Uh huh.
behind like the fire department.
Yeah.
There's a little like plant back there. It's an old cotton plant,
Yep.
and they have a old abandoned parking lot where they store trailers. And there's like a very smooth, flat like pad of concrete, and we've just been skating there for a while. And we think about just getting like quick set concrete and building like ramps and stuff.
Are you like doing tricks, or are you just doing it to kind of get out there? Or are you intentionally trying to learn moves?
I'm trying to get back into tricks. I lost a lot of it, so I'm trying to regain my abilities,
That's another
which wasn't much.
that's a weird thing because I remember in like like late elementary school, early middle school, we were pretty heavy into skateboarding, and I used to be able to do some tricks. You used to be able to do some tricks, and like you would think guys who know tricks are in their 20s and stuff, but we were I would say pretty decent for our ages,
Probably like
and
11, 12.
yeah, we just never stuck. I mean, I didn't stick with it because of soccer, and that was my big thing. And if I hurt my ankle or break it or something skateboarding, then that would affect soccer, and that was just a big no-no for me. But
Yeah.
it's so funny you say that because I've often thought that so much because there's that skate park over there too. I'm like, do I want to get back into that?
The only thing about that skate park, it's super nice, but every single hour of the day, it is packed with people.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. It's a nice one. The town that we live in, the small town, they relatively recently built a skate park, and it's like everybody within a 5 to 10 mile radius, I'm willing to bet, shows up there. And it's times
Oh
I've
yeah,
driven by, it's always full. So having a nice like concrete slab for just you and a homie to go out and do
exactly.
stuff, that sounds good. And that I know exactly where you're talking about. That's like a nice secluded area too. I can't imagine
Yeah.
too many people bothering you.
Well, so we pull in, park our cars behind the trailers, and like it's from the road, it's all covered with bushes and everything. So like you really can't see in there. So either way,
Yeah.
Can't really get caught if it's a problem, but I doubt it is.
I want to say, actually, I don't. Never mind. I'll save that for another time. But yeah,
Yeah,
skating. That was something I had always debated because like I have an obsessive personality, so when I get into something, I get into it all the way. Ooh, voice
yeah.
crack. I get into it all the way, and it's so funny you bring that up because I've been thinking about that. I think me and Tyler talked about that one day, and it's like not that we're old, like we're just in our early 20s, but it's different now. Like growing up, and we would longboard and go down a hill at like 20 miles
Hmm.
per hour and fall off and scrape against the asphalt. You just get up and be like, man, that hurt a little bit. But now when you get hurt and you fall down and slam, it freaking hurts, dude.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
me and Jake were talking about this the other day about like skating and everything. And back in the day, it's like you get hurt doing something like skateboarding. It's like, oh man, I get to miss school. I get to chill at home. Now, if you get hurt doing something stupid, it's like, dang, I'm losing money.
Yeah, you miss a
Missing
check.
my job.
Yep.
Yeah.
There
So it's like you don't want to risk it anymore.
I'll have nights where I go play soccer with some friends that I know and before I'd get kicked to the ankle or my foot stepped on, I'd be like, that stings a little bit, but I'll move on. And now it's like I'll get home, I got to ice it, stretch it, take medicine. It's like, your body's just it's just different. Time goes on. And
Oh yeah.
there's a really, really good Tony Hawk documentary that's recently, it's probably um, a year or two ago. It's on HBO. I'm sure you can find it on whatever pirated movie website or anything. Not that you should do that, but if
Mm.
you did,
If you did.
it's called Till the Wheels Fall Off. Like I said, it probably came out last year or the year before. I watched that with my fiance one night. She was just kind of on her phone doing whatever, and I was like, I'm gonna turn something on and watch it. And that got me. You know when you watch a movie or a video or something and it gets you in the mood, like the itch to do
Yeah.
something. I watched that and I was like, that's it. I'm getting back into skateboarding. I still have
Yeah.
my. There's been so many times. I have my longboard still, but there's been so many times where I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna get rid of my skateboard, and then for whatever reason, I've still got it.
Uh-huh.
Haven't been able to get rid of it. I feel like I said, I have that obsessive personality and I always want to accomplish things. That there is going to be a day where I'm going to be like, screw it, Dylan, let's go to the skate park and we're not leaving until I learn how to grind or, just like
Oh
something.
yeah. Oh, to touch on that, how you say you have like the obsessive personality and you want to like do something really good before you give it up.
Uh,
That's why it's always been I jump around from so many different things. I never get amazing at one thing, which is good. Because I'll do something for a while, get really good at it, and then I get bored of it,
right.
and then I have to be at the next thing.
That's
Like I'll play
true.
golf for a while, and then I
Yeah.
get bored of that. Then I go like skateboard or play Rocket League or just gotta keep I like to see how much I can do instead of just focusing on one thing.
Which can be good or bad because like you're burning yourself out on one thing, so then you go on to the next. But you're right.
Yeah.
That's a fair analogy because you are. I don't know if there's any one thing where I'm like Dylan's incredible at this, but you're pretty good at like a wide range of things. So
Thank you.
you're. I don't know if well versed or cultured is the word, but back to my original point.
We can go with culture.
Sure. Good at darts, bowling, pool, cornhole,
Cornhole.
stuff like that, where like the average person doesn't really care about that. But when you're in the setting, when you're with people, and it's like, oh, we all suck or whatever, and Dylan's like, let me step up. And then he just, flames everybody else while we're there.
If you need a teammate, you look to him.
Yeah, and the bizarre sport, bizarre activity, whatever you're doing, look for Dylan.
Might start playing lacrosse.
With what?
Oh
Sounds
my
kind of
god.
lacrosse sounds kind of fun.
Lacrosse?
Actually, nah.
I mean, I
I'm
don't.
good on that.
I personally think it's weird, and I don't care for it much. But I know so many people that are like die hard. I'm willing to bet you it's one of those sports that if you give it a chance, you're like, wow, I was really missing out on this. It's probably a lot better than you think. Lacrosse
Maybe.
fans, let us know. Tell us. But anyway, back to our original conversation we were having about how you don't really game anymore. Do you not have the same desire for it? Do you not have the time for it? Like what's
It's a little bit of both. I mean, I probably turn my PC on like once or twice a week, play like 2 games of CS:GO, and then hop off. But it's mainly because now I'm working full time and I just don't get as much time. And when I do,
right?
it's not the same as like the old days. Can't really stay on it long.
Yeah.
Doesn't
And
keep my attention.
not to once again knock Dylan, but Dylan didn't really have a lot of jobs growing up, and he was the guy that played video games and spent a lot of time doing that. So it was like always Dylan was the guy playing video games. And like you said, now you get older and you get the full time job and you start meeting people and making friends and doing things, and all of a sudden, video games becomes not as important as it used to be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that must suck.
you realize making money can sometimes be a little bit better.
Yeah. What do you
Better
say,
use of your
Tyler?
time.
I say that must suck. I'm still a nerd.
I mean,
Freaking nerd.
I like Tyler enjoys video games enough. Well, it's kind of a different scenario because Tyler's not working full time. He's still in college, so he still has time to like set aside to play video games. We'll see how this is after this year. Once he gets into the
Mhm.
workforce and he's a big boy, we'll see what happens. But Tyler still enjoys them and is still able to play them and make the time for it. I have a weird thing with video games where I'm not going to go out of my way to play them and try a lot of them, but I like to know about them. Like I like to be involved in the
Yeah.
video game culture and world. Like my YouTube history, at least a 75% of it is me watching video essays on different video games. Like I'll watch
Oh yeah.
videos and get all the news and info on games, all that. Like there's so many games that I know everything about them and I've just never played them. And I
Yeah.
just enjoy learning about that and being in the culture. And to Dylan's point, it used to be we could sit down and play Black Ops 2 and multiplayer or literally any game. It was like easily you're going to play for a minimum of 5 to 6 hours. And now, if we sit down for recording sessions or on a rare occasion where me and Tyler get on just to play, to hang out and play a video game, like absolutely pushing my limit is an hour and a half. It just doesn't keep
Oh,
your interest like it used to.
I will say though, whenever like a new exciting game does come out, I will play it for like the first week straight and then kind of slowly taper off. Like I'm sure Tyler can back me up on this, but when X Defiant came out,
Oh
we
yeah.
played that every day for like the first week, 2 weeks,
Yeah, I
and
remember
then
that.
just slowly like we played it like once every 2 days, and then once a week, and then we just stopped playing it. But when
Yeah,
games get you excited, it brings that old feeling back just a tiny bit.
yeah, it is hard to. That's something I have a problem with is the nostalgia of like thinking of older things, and when you're an adult and like, oh man, I used to love when me, Tyler, and Dylan would do this, or I would do this, or whatever, and then you do it now, and it's just not the same. Like going back and playing video games, just not the same. Certain activities we used to do growing up, you're like, oh yeah, I remember we used to watch this or do this, and you go back and it's like, dang, it's just, it'll never be what it was, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you got to move on and make use of something different. I
Oh yeah.
remember for a little while, weren't you talking about getting into streaming?
Yeah. I still would like to get into it. It's just comes all full circle, like not enough time, and then
Right.
can't really put a whole ton of effort into it because I don't have a lot of time. And although I would still like to get into it.
That's, I mean, typically from what Tyler tells me, I don't know. I don't know if you've ever told me this, but you have a little bit more of like a labor manual. It's not a super intense, spine breaking job, but you're up and moving around enough that it's like at the end of the day, even if you have the time to do it, you're just so tired you probably can't even get yourself up there
Oh,
to do it.
100%.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard on the body. I mean, it's not the hardest thing ever, but it
Right.
it takes a toll.
I mean, when you're doing it for 8 hours a day, it it
Anything can really be like that.
yeah, it adds up. I mean, people who sit in office chairs for 8 hours a day, you get home, you're just like, oh my gosh, or whatever your
Yeah.
job ends up being. I've kind of had that myself. Is like I've been trying to really get into taking vitamins and eating good food, which I've been on this for a while, but especially lately now with my new job is a decently manual labor, physical job. And then at the end of the day, like if I want to edit or talk to Tyler or any of our other YouTube friends or whatever the case is, it's like you kind of have to force yourself to, which sounds bad, but it ends up being a good thing. At least I think so. I don't know.
Yeah. No,
Speaking
I
of
feel it.
which, we gotta. Well, once again, if you ever have time, we gotta try to get you in on another session.
100%. I'm down.
Now, it's
Yeah.
not bad if the answer is no. It's not gonna bother us at all.
Okay.
Do you keep up with any of our videos at all?
Oh, whenever they pop up on my like home screen on YouTube, because a lot of times I don't even see them, but when they do pop up, I always watch them if
Here
I
and
ever
there?
see them.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Oh, mine
I
ain't
don't know
popping
what
up on
the I
there.
don't know what the upload schedule is and everything, but if it pops up, I 100% watch it.
Okay, I was interested. Like I said, it wasn't gonna bother me if you said no or anything, but I was just
I mean, no, I never. Never have, never will.
I see it and I press the three dots and say don't recommend this channel.
I report it.
Oh wait a minute.
Get it
Wait,
out of here.
Wait a minute.
Get it
I'm
out
already
of
on,
here.
I'm already on thin ice, man. You can't do that
Yeah, bro,
Oh no,
TikTok's
I
already
gave
got
you
him
double.
blacklisted.
I made
again,
a
bro.
second account for you, Tyler,
What do you mean you made a second account for me?
so I can report you twice.
Oh man, Dude,
That's just evil.
I got banned off TikTok again.
Did you know that?
Really? That's
Tell him
crazy.
about what happened,
Dude,
Tyler.
I just
Let me
got
know.
back in my account and it's not there. Like it's like can't log in, violated terms of service. I don't even know what I did this time. I didn't think it was that bad.
He can't escape the TikTok police.
Was there something going on, like DMs, if you threatening somebody or something?
Oh yeah, I was definitely grooming somebody.
I
Definitely
would.
a disrespect situation.
I was gonna make a joke and be like, "Yeah, he was messaging minors," and I was like, "No, that's too far. I'm not gonna say that." Then Tyler's just like, "Yes, I was grooming someone."
You know,
sending
maybe this is
people
why.
sending people copy and paste messages about an invitation to a Diddy party.
This is
Ooh.
You're
why
invited.
these statements are probably why I was banned.
Yeah, probably.
So typically, the other people we talk to are YouTube related or people we play video games or whatever. But you're kind of in a different realm. I mean, you're not super big into video games, so I guess we'll try to cater more towards what makes Dylan. So I'm gonna try my best. One of these I feel like I could do better at than the other. What can you tell us about golf and cars? Actually, let's start with cars because you sent me a very interesting text message the other day.
That was pretty cool. Okay, so I went to there's a McLaren dealership in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they were having they called it like exotics and caffeine, where they had like selling coffee and had exotic cars there. And one of the cars I sent Christian because he's a big fan of LaMelo Ball. It was his Rolls Royce that was, I think, for sale there. It was like an all black one with like a red emblem on it and everything. I thought it was pretty sweet
So
to just see it pop up.
for those of you who don't know, if you've been living under a rock, LaMelo was like this kid that got really popular in his high school years with his brothers who are all around the same age, and they were pretty good at basketball for high schoolers, and their dad used to gas him up on social media and make a big deal about him, and their last name is Ball. So they're a family that plays basketball and their last name is Ball. It's like what could be even more perfect than that? But
Ball
anyway,
brothers.
all three of them made it to the NBA. One of them is in like the semi-pro league now. It's called the G League. But LaMelo ended up signing for Charlotte, and we all live decently within the Charlotte area. I try not to give away our location. At least I don't want to. I don't know about you two, but we're in North Carolina. How about that?
I'll give
And
my address.
go ahead. We're waiting.
3005.
I wish you could remember the one from Breaking Bad. Do you know the like 3305
Yeah.
Allegra Lane something? Anyway, but LaMelo ends up signing for the Hornets, gets a ton of money, and he's very well known for driving his flashy cars and showing off and things of the sort. So he's always like whipping out of the Spectrum Center, the stadium they play in these multi-million cars that are crazy colors. So as Dylan said, he's at this meetup, and there's a Rolls Royce that has his logo. Like LaMelo has a logo because he's signed with Puma, and he has his own shoes. And the hood ornament is the LaMelo Ball brand logo. And Dylan just sends me a text, and he was like, "Do you see what I see?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's a cool Rolls Royce. Like, there's some cool cars." And then you zoom in, and you're like, "Wait a minute." So I
I know
guess
whose that is.
LaMelo was selling a Rolls. Probably means nothing to him because he's got who knows how many. But there was a day when me and my fiance were visiting Charlotte and we were walking around and we were within the vicinity of the Spectrum Center, and there is this bright neon green Lamborghini driving by, and there is nobody else I know in Charlotte who would drive that car. And LaMelo even has pictures of with his cars, and there's one that looks like that, a lime neon green Lamborghini, and the car drove by, and I was kind of turning, breaking my neck, trying to look at it. And my fiance is like, "What are you doing? Like, it's a nice car, but," and I was like, "I think we just saw LaMelo Ball," and she was like, "No way!" And I don't know. I don't know if it was him or not, but I'm gonna stick with it. I think it was.
Keeping with all the car stuff. So that's one thing that I've been really big into for a while now, but really getting deep into it in the last couple of years.
Uh huh.
And I've just been going to a bunch of like different car shows recently. Like a couple of months ago, I went to one of the NASCAR tracks around here. And they had a big old car show called Cars and Coffee. And then there's another one recently at a Lamborghini dealership. Same thing, bunch of Lamborghinis, exotic cars, multi-million dollar cars. And then that one that was at McLaren, whole bunch of cars that I've never thought would ever see in person. And they were all right there, like Bugattis, Koenigseggs, McLarens, all that.
What
So that's
would
what I've been
you
getting into recently.
what would you say is the one you've seen where you're like, holy crap, like that is the coolest or most impressive one that you've seen?
So the dream car that I've always wanted to see in person, but I never thought I would, was a Bugatti Chiron, which is I think they're about like $4 million.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I got onto the parking lot. We stepped foot onto the parking lot, and there was two of them there. But
Oh my gosh.
there was a car even crazier that I never thought I'd ever see, and it was a Koenigsegg Regera. And if you know what car that is, you know that you'll most people will die never seeing that car in their life. And it was around $4 to $5 million, and that company only makes about 250 cars like ever. And out of that model, there's about 20 of them, and that was one of them.
So
And it
that's
had like
rare, rare.
it had 24 karat gold plate or paint on it, and it was sick.
Holy crap. That is
I'll send you a picture of
insane.
it, Christian,
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah, you gotta send us pictures of these. You're speaking another language to Crawdaddy and I, so hopefully other people who listen that are car enthusiasts will understand. What's that one that's in town that the guy leaves in his driveway and it's like a right-hand drive and that's apparently like a super
The Mark IV Toyota Supra.
that's what it was. That has anything come of that?
It's still sitting in the same exact place, has not moved.
How much would you say that's worth?
Uh, During like 2020, like the peak of cars, it's like a 19, I think like 97 old Toyota that no one really cared about back in the day, but blew up in popularity in like 2020. It was probably around 100 grand, but nowadays it's probably sitting around like the 40, 50, just for a
Oh,
bone stock car from the 90s.
wow. There, one of the best car experiences I've had with Dylan is when I was living in Florida. Dylan Tyler and another one of our friends flew down to come visit me, and we were in a Top Golf parking lot. What's the GTR that's in Rocket League? Is that the Skyline?
Yeah.
There was a car, and it was in the parking lot. It looked like a Skyline. What is the correct name for that? A Nissan GTR? What do you call
Was it like the older one?
Yeah, it's the one that was in Rocket League, and we saw it
Oh,
in the parking lot.
the R34.
Okay, so R34. There's a car that looked like an R34. Couldn't really make it out because it was dark or whatever. And Dylan and our other friend were like, "Is that an R34?" And then me just jokingly, I was like, "Yeah, it is. Whatever." Like, just trying to get him to shut up, trying to get back to the car. And then we walk up closer to the car, and it freaking was. Which isn't that like a pretty
Yeah.
rare one to see, or at least in America?
Oh, yeah, that's like what the like that and the Mark IV Supra are like kind of the kings of that era, and that car is easily over 100,000.
Yeah, so that was kind of a funny moment that we had. And then anytime that I'll see a car that looks expensive or looks nice and I'm out on my own, I'll just take a picture and send it to Dylan. And I'm like, give me the rundown. What is this? Tell me what this is. Should I be
Oh yeah.
impressed or not? What would you
Speaking of like,
go ahead? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking of like taking pictures in cars and everything, I've been thinking about getting into like they kind of call it like car spotting, just going out finding cars to film and everything. That seems like a pretty fun thing to do.
With
I'm not gonna plug anything, but I recently just uploaded a short of that of like $5 million car I was talking about earlier,
uh-huh.
and in one day it got like 1.6 thousand views.
Oh wow.
So seems like people like it.
Put
So
them in the
I'm thinking about
description.
getting into that.
Are you wanting to do it with your phone or do you have a camera or
I mean, phone right now, but if I start getting into it, then the camera would be pretty sick. Then I can start taking pictures of my car and everything, and just go from there.
I've got do you know what a gimbal is?
Yeah.
I have one of those, like a nice one for a phone. If I ever go
Okay.
to a car meet with you or when you go on your own or whatever, you should take it and use that to like take video or something like that. That would make it look nice and steady,
That'd be
really
great.
professional looking.
Oh yeah.
I'll have to teach you how to set it up, or I'm sure you can look it up online. it can be a little complicated because it's all digital and it's
Yeah.
a whole thing I won't go into, but that could be worth your while. I've just got it sitting around. I don't really
Yeah.
have a
Well,
situation to use it.
okay. Well, speaking of like filming cars and everything, you wouldn't believe who I met up with recently and did a whole video on my car with.
I don't know.
It's a name you probably haven't heard in years. I'm not sure if name dropping, but Andrew, you remember?
And oh yeah, oh wow.
Yeah. I met him at that car show at the NASCAR track,
Uh-huh.
and he just recently got a Maserati,
Of course he
and
did.
he makes YouTube videos
Yeah, I knew about
of like
this. Yeah.
of his cars and other cars, and he said that his videos pay for the Maserati, and he asked to
Holy
film a video
moly.
of my car, so we suction cupped a microphone to like the exhaust, put a camera on the back, and started like filming the car. It was pretty fun.
So, to give you guys some context, there is a fella named Andrew that used to live in like the big rich people neighborhood behind us, and his family's wealthy and they've got money or whatever, and just a guy that we haven't, at least I haven't heard of in forever and a day. I wasn't even sure if he was still alive. And the fact
Mhm.
that Dylan just told me that he did that video with him, our other friend Grand FC, whose name is Jared, he's in a few videos of ours. He's talks slow, he's got a southern accent. You know who it is. He told me that Andrew had a YouTube channel where he was doing car reviews and things like that, and that he was getting pretty decent views on it. So I had no idea that you guys made a video
Yeah.
and did a thing together. What's your car specifically for anyone who's interested?
It's the Hyundai Veloster N.
Okay. I mean, did your video do well on his channel?
Uh, it's not the best on his channel, just because like compared to the cars he reviews, not the most exciting, but it did relatively good. It got a few thousand views and all that.
Is his
Bunch of
channel
comments.
big? Like how big is it?
Uh, let me see here. I have it up here right now.
Pull it
He has
up.
20,000 subscribers, and
Okay, so that's not bad.
his most viewed video was a short, like a YouTube short, and it has 7 million views.
Yeah, okay. People who are there's certain genres and certain things that when people are fans of them, they are fans of them. Cars is like people who are car fans and car enthusiasts are you're either 100% or you're not.
Hmm.
I would liken it to people who drink Mountain Dew. You're either all in or you're not. Mountain Dew fans go crazy.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
So what would you so we've talked about your dream car, the most impressive car you've seen. Or yeah, we did talk about that. We talked about your car. What is the most cuz you work with cars and I don't know if this has happened where you work, but what is the most impressive car that you've been in or sat in?
Uh, well, I've worked on a couple Mustang GT 500s. If people know cars and know what those are, it's like the top of the line Mustang right now.
All right.
It's got like the supercharged engine,
Is
fastest
that
Mustang.
is that the one they call a Hellcat?
No,
Okay. I don't know
that's
anything
a Do-
about cars. That's why I'm asking.
that's a Dodge.
Oh, that's a Dodge. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, pretty much that. Not the most expensive car, because most expensive cars like the fully loaded trucks and everything. But coolest car wise, probably those Mustangs.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Crawdaddy, say something. You've been quiet for too long.
I
Yeah,
didn't want to interrupt, man.
Do something.
What's your dream car, Christian?
Me?
Yeah, what's your dream
the
car?
new Prius.
I am, dude. The new Sport
It
Prius.
is pretty sick.
It is
Have you
nice.
have you seen the picture of a guy that lowered one?
No, I haven't.
I'll have to send that to you also. It looks pretty sick.
The new Prius doesn't even look like a Prius. It's very like sporty, nice looking, and the gas mileage is insane. It's like 60 miles to the gallon. It's
Yeah.
there are racing teams that are modifying it into racing cars. That's like it just doesn't get
Yeah.
the Priuses, man. Anyway, but that's not my dream car. I'll probably continually drive a Prius. Like I drive a Prius right now, and once that dies, I'll probably just get another one because, I mean, the fuel efficiency and all that jazz. But I like
Hate on 'em as
old,
much as you want, but
dude. Make fun of them all you want, but when you're an adult and you got to put in the money to fill that thing up, I can get 45 miles to the gallon, city and highway, and it costs me $20 to fill up my car. So stay mad. Anyways, I like old cars, like old domestics. I believe I just used the right terminology. And I like 50s and 60s. Like I like 57 Chevys, just very classy, bright colors. solid metal, the whole car around. Like if you run into that car, you're losing that battle. Like those cars are just tanks.
You are the crumple zone.
Exactly. Those cars are just tanks that have a family of four in them. There's a car that Tyler the Creator has that's a sort of BMW. I wish I can remember what it is. The E50?
E36.
36?
E36, I'm pretty sure. E30 or E36, one of the two.
It's got just a cool boxy look to it that I kind of like.
E30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the way that looks. And I just something that's always stuck with me as a kid is like if you have a Lamborghini, you're winning in life. Like I know it's maybe like the cliche car or there's other ones that are better or more expensive or whatever. Newer Lamborghinis are cool, and especially the ones from the 80s that are like very low and have a boxy look to them. I like
What you
boxy.
thinking about?
I like boxy looking cars. It's just got a certain once it got to the 90s and 2000s and they started rounding everything, the lights on the front are rounded, just
Oh yeah.
not as cool. So I'd probably say that BMW, old 50s and 60s cars. I love the 57 Chevy, love old cars. Even old like pickup trucks are cool. As far as anything current, yeah, just I don't know enough about cars, but I'd say any mainstay Lamborghini is pretty cool. What about you, Crawdaddy? Do you have an interest enough in any kind of car that you would say you like?
Ford F-250.
Now, considering how my dad had that Mark III Supra.
Yeah.
I just like Supra. After looking at like other Supras, I'd say the Mark V. It looks cool. I don't know
That
much about
is
cars, but it looks cool.
that is a great choice because that's what I would call my like obtainable dream car, like a realistic one,
Okay.
like
Yeah,
the one that I could actually go buy right now.
they're kind of
Is
cheap
would be a Mark V. Yeah, they're only
considering.
like 40 grand, which really isn't bad for what it is.
I like old Broncos are cool too. Like Broncos from the 60s and 70s are just like when they're
The
raised
OJs.
and yeah, oh, well, I guess if you want to put it like that, but those are pretty decent. My sister had a friend whose dad just restored those just for fun, and he
They
gave
are
his
expensive.
kids two of them. Each one had one, and these were people who don't care about cars, didn't respect the car or anything, and it would just infuriate us that these two kids had these brand spanking new restored Broncos for free. Oh, actually, I take back what I said. A dream car of mine are the old Volkswagen vans.
Oh yeah, you've talked about
Those are
that.
sick, dude. I would buy one of those and drive it instantly. Just everybody piles in. Those are sick. I love those. And when they're
You want,
kept up and they
you want
look
the
nice.
you want the mystery machine, dude.
The Mystery Machine. What's the name of that one car from the movie Cars? And he's like the hippie van. He's the Volkswagen van.
Yeah,
It's not Ramon. I can't remember that guy's name. But yeah, something like
I have
that.
no idea.
You know what I'm talking about. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean. So we've talked enough about
Every
cars.
third blink is slower.
Yeah. yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen that movie in forever. Cars. Why does everybody
We
hate Cars
watched it
too?
recently. Me and Dylan watched it at Cadence. I remember that. Were you there for that?
Yeah.
Cars?
What was it? Two? It was Cars 2.
Just a bunch of grown men just sitting on the couch,
Yeah.
just like watching Cars 2, just fully into it,
While
laughing at
drinking.
these childish jokes.
Yeah.
I don't know why everybody hates Cars 2. That's the best one.
Nah, I wouldn't say it's the best. I think the first
That's
one's the
not getting too
best.
far.
I like
Cars
Cars
First one has
2.
classic.
Cars 3 was slept on too.
No, Cars 3
I haven't
sucks.
even seen 3.
Nah.
Cars 1 is a good classic, and then Cars 2, it goes from like small town racing car trying to make his way, and then Cars 2 is they're literally murdering other cars. Like a global conspiracy to mass murder other cars.
Did you not watch Cars 3?
Me?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen Cars 3.
You didn't like it?
I didn't care for it. I mean, the only time I watched it is when it came out in the movie theater, so it's been a while, but I don't remember liking it after I watched it. But it's been a
Hmm.
while. Maybe I'll give it another chance.
Interesting take.
It's been a while. I'll give it another chance.
Interesting take.
Oh, speaking of, I guess cinema, movie, whatever the fuck. Have you seen the new Penguin show, Christian?
Is it out?
Yeah, it's actually good.
Is it coming
I
out
like
one
it.
episode at a time?
National Geographic.
One episode. No.
Shut
yeah,
up,
one episode
bro.
at a time.
No, I'll probably wait till the whole thing comes out. I hate having to sit and wait for shows now. which is such first world problems, but it looks good.
It's like a mafia show. It's kind of like The Godfather. I've never seen The Godfather, but it's been, it's
I know
like
what you
moving
mean.
up the ranks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's my favorite Batman movie is the one with Robert Pattinson that's by that same director and done that same sort of way. So I don't doubt that the show is good. From the trailers I saw, it looks good. Maybe I will take the time to start watching it and we'll keep up together and watch it cuz you always leave me behind when we watch TV
I get
shows.
Yeah.
How many
yeah,
episodes are out? Is it just one or two?
too.
Two. You know what? This is a totally random thought, but I wanted to get it out before I forgot about it. This essentially means nothing. Does nobody shake hands anymore? Have you noticed that? Is that like a
No,
post-COVID thing?
it's always that.
I mean, I feel like the dap up has just gone too far. I grew up in
I've
a household.
shaken a few hands recently.
I grew up in a household where you were a man and with dignity you shook another man's hand. I don't know if it's post-COVID. I feel like everybody goes for fist bumps or dap ups. Like even when I'm in a corporate
Yeah.
setting, when I'm at work and I meet somebody new, they'll dap me up or fist bump me. I'm like, why are we doing this? What happened to just the
Honestly though, you know how like it was a saying like you can judge a man off his handshake.
uh-huh.
The new thing is you can 100% judge a man off his dap up.
So
Does he does he grab? Does he grab hard? Does he like bring you in? Does he snap afterwards? There's a lot of variables there.
Like it kind of, so, I
Are
don't
his
know.
hands sweaty?
It's weird if they snap afterwards. To me, at
The
least.
snap's only like trying to be funny with the friends,
yeah, I don't know. The snap is
in my
weird.
opinion.
What is considered a dap? Is it the dap when you like your from your elbow to your fingertips, like that's pointed upright and you like cup each other and it makes like that loud like dap sound? Or is it
Yeah,
the one when you
yeah.
grab and then you like slide? What's the
Well, it's
difference?
all one thing, but a good dap is when it makes a loud clap. Like you
Yeah.
cup it perfectly.
That's
Good.
A
see,
slide's just like
I feel
extra
like
points.
dapping was just the slide. Like you would go in for like a normal handshake, but then you do the grab and slide. And then now it's
Yeah,
like the upright position where you try to get the good like cup dap sound effect. And I feel like I don't
yeah.
know which one to go for anymore.
You always go for the cup.
Is it always the cup?
Whether the other
Crawdaddy, is it
person,
always the
whether
cup?
the,
I go for the. I always want that
when
noise. I want that.
when you get the
Pop.
good cup, you and that other person just lock eyes. And like that
Yes.
was the perfect dap. That was the perfect dap.
It doesn't even need to be said sometimes. You just do
It
it,
really
lock
doesn't.
eyes, and then you leave.
Just look at each other,
Smile, wink at them,
Yeah.
stare into one another's soul.
give them a good game pat, carry on.
So once again, before I forget what we have, for those of you who watch the show, you know that Crawdaddy and I fill up our notes each week and try to talk through it when we're on the podcast. There was a few that I forgot from last time. One of which, see, now I feel like these aren't going to be as good because it wasn't in the moment, so it's not the same. Should I do the first one? Is that what should I even do that one?
Just get it
Yeah,
out. It was
Just
fun.
get it
it out.
out. All right.
If it's bad, we'll just keep rolling with it.
There's no
Like it never happened.
context because we're not putting in pictures or footage. You guys are solely listeners with the tiny snail in your ear that tells you to keep listening to us. My new job, I drive around a lot through the Carolinas, as I've discussed, and I was at this middle of nowhere town in South Carolina. Nobody's around. I don't know if I sent it to you, Dylan, but I sent it to Tyler. That sheep at the gas station. I was at a gas station. There's nobody around, and the gas station is at a corner of an intersection, and there's just a sheep walking around, which is so strange. This would be like seeing a horse like walking on a street or a sidewalk. It just doesn't fit there. This
I have a
sheep
funny story to go with that when you're done.
this sheep was walking around. First of all, it's like you're at a gas station getting gas, and there's just a sheep walking up to the gas pump, and you're like, well, that's different. And then it had a leash on it. So you know that somehow it got away from somebody, and it was just like, nah, I'm going to the 7-Eleven. So it's funnier if I put the picture in, but I'm not going to. So try to imagine that. Dylan, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say talking about like a horse or an animal in a random spot. So some of the people I work with, I was showing them a driving range down near like the town over from where I live, and like it's known as being like a little trashy, like there's some wild things that happen there, and they knew about it. They've heard the rumors, and so we were hitting golf balls all night, and then it was nighttime, like pitch black outside when we were leaving. We're saying bye and all that. Next thing you know, on the main road, there's a homeless-looking guy riding a horseback riding on the main road, and then he goes like behind a tree line, and we pull out in our cars. Like we were starstruck. Like we didn't know what we just witnessed. We pull out in our cars right behind him. As soon as we turn around that tree line, he was gone, disappeared,
Oh my gosh.
Mystical.
Buddy
just
put it
gone.
into 6th gear.
He did.
Got
He
that
dropped the gear.
horsepower.
All right. I knew somebody was going to make some kind of horsepower joke. It was a matter of
I'd throw it
time.
in there.
That was bad.
I'm going to do a
Fun fact: horses do not have 1 horsepower.
How many do they have?
I don't know. I think it's like 2 point something.
Well, that just
Oh.
makes no sense.
Yeah, what's even the point in that?
I don't know.
American measurement makes no sense.
It's all backwards.
I'm going to do a shameless plug here. For you guys who have been listening, who keep up with the show, we had an episode that really did not do well, and it was called The Cheese Conspiracy. It has like 7 views. Our other stuff gets like 50, between 50 and 100. Our 2 episodes ago, when this comes out, we had one that had 200, did really well. I don't know if the name put you guys off or what. I'm going to tell you to go back to listen to that, because that is the best episode, and I will die on that hill. I don't know what Crawdaddy thinks. I don't know what the rest of you guys think. It was such a good episode. If you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to the Cheese Conspiracy episode. And when you get to the end, like the last, I don't know, 10 to 5 minutes, it makes it even more worth it. I'm not going to say much more than that, but you guys let me down. Go listen to that episode. Don't let it die. Don't sleep on it.
Is that the same
He's
episode with
reaching
Kid
out.
Ziggy?
Is that the...
Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
before?
Yeah, and then at the
Oh,
end,
God.
when you're doing that
Oh,
thing,
God. Oh, God.
there are more... Okay, let's just... whatever. At the end of that episode, we played some unreleased beats that Crawdaddy made in like late middle
Oh,
school,
no.
early high school. And it's good. It is a funny, good podcast. When we were done with that, I pressed the stop recording button on OBS, and I told Tyler, that's probably our best episode. Like, I felt so good about it. And it has 7 views, so go fix that. Go listen to it. Thank me later. The
I'll make it
hurricane...
8.
The hurricane that... make it 8. The hurricane that came through, I did not realize how bad that was. Like in Florida, I got family that lives down there. They made it through. It was okay. Apparently it has just destroyed the Western Carolinas, like up in the mountains. So like bottom of what am I saying here? Top of South Carolina, and then to the left of North Carolina. I have my sister lives out in the Greenville area, kind of out in a rural area around there. And the hurricane came through, was apparently super bad for them. They're not going to have power for 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, my God.
That is like a third world country sounding affair. And they live like an hour and a half away from me. And like we have said, we live around Charlotte. That's the biggest city close to us. And the hurricane wasn't bad for us. We had like maybe 24 full hours, maybe 48 full hours of just raining really hard, but that was really it. Power went out a little bit here and there, but it was back within the same day. My brother-in-law was texting me today while I was at work, and he was like, hey, is there like a Bass Pro Shop or Cabela's or anything near you? And I was like, yeah, there's only 2 that are really around that are within the vicinity. And he was like, yeah, I think I'm going to drive up there to, come pick up some stuff. And that's a long drive to go to just get some things. And I was like, what's the deal? And he was like, dude, the area here is turning into the purge. Like there's no food. The roads are all destroyed, and there's branches and power lines everywhere. Like it's dangerous to try to leave the town that they live in. And then he said, I wanted to go to Cabela's and what was the other place? Bass Pro Shop to buy some ammunition because stuff's getting crazy out here. And I was like, what is happening? You guys lose electricity for 48 hours and then they're starting like going crazy there. And apparently there's like one gas station that you're able to get gas from, and there were cars lined up for a mile for people to try to get in. And people are getting so like cutthroat survival mode that there was a shooting at one of the gas stations over gas.
Oh, my God.
He's like, I don't know how to
Right.
explain it to you, but there's a survival feeling in the air, and people are not happy. And he's like, yeah, I need to go buy some ammunition. I was like, good lord, what is? Everybody's losing their minds. Lose some electricity for two. I mean, who knows if it'll really take them 2 to 3 weeks to get it back? But you lose electricity for 2 days, and people are like, essentially trying to kill each other over goods. It's crazy. Did you have any?
It's wild out there, man.
Did you have any problems where you're at, Dylan, with the storm and everything? Did you lose any power or anything like that?
A lot of my town lost power, but I didn't. I get flickered a few times, but I didn't like lose power at all. But like my work did, so I didn't. From like Thursday all the way till Saturday, we were out of work, so that was pretty nice.
So I live in the town next door to Dylan. Dylan still lives in the town that the three of us grew up in. And the town that we grew up in, I don't know. I think Dylan could attest to this. The electricity and the power goes out if it's like too sunny outside. Like the
Yeah, that's
smallest
why I was.
thing, it's so annoying. Like a cricket will
That's why I was
fart and
so
the power goes
surprised.
out. It's so annoying.
Oh yeah.
So I'm amazed that you still had power because you live in an older house. It's not like it's from the 1800s or something, but it's older than the other houses around there. And I don't know. I would have assumed that you would have lost some. So I'm like, for
Well,
being some, good.
I was gonna say I was just waiting for the power to go out and it never did.
I mean, Tyler grew up next door to you, and then I lived maybe 2/10 of a mile away. And I would be willing to bet that the neighborhood that I grew up in lost power and then yours didn't. They would just lose. It'd be a
Probably did.
perfectly sunny, clear day, nothing's wrong. And in the Carolinas, we have Duke Energy, and the power would go out, and Duke Energy would be like, "Whoops, looks like it's going to be out for 4 days." And you're like, "Are you like how? How is that even happening?"
That's just
What's
where y'all
what's
live.
You
what's
never
funny
had
is
that?
in our
Not in the new place. It like barely ever went out. I remember y'all would go out all the time, and I'd be chilling.
they were all out of well
I think we
around
were in
your
different
house was all
grids.
out of power.
No need to brag.
Oh, well, damn.
Well, what's funny is the so every restaurant because like where my house is, there's only a Chick-fil-A, and then you go down the street more, and that's where all the other like McDonald's, Bojangles, all the other sort of restaurants, all those were out of power. So it was only Chick-fil-A. So everybody in the whole town was at
Yep.
Chick-fil-A, and the line was I sat in line one time because I did a mobile order, so I had to pick it up. I sat in line for almost an hour
Oh
to
my
get my
god.
chicken sandwich.
The Lord's chicken prevails. The
And it did
shining
in time of
beacon.
need.
Man, people. I was about to say people sleep on Chick Fil A. Nobody sleeps on Chick Fil A. It's popular for a reason.
Nobody's eating
Have
Chick-fil-A.
you had the honey pimento chicken sandwich, Dylan?
I have not, but I've been wanting to try it.
Oh my gosh, it's incredible. The next time you go there, get it, and you will not regret it. It's easily the best menu item that they have.
So I've
He's been
always been
glazing.
weird with pimento cheese. So I've always looked at it and I'm like, that looks so good. I should love that. And then every time I try it, I don't like it. So
Man,
that's what's been holding me back from getting the sandwich.
then get it without the pimento. I don't know what you got to do, but you got to get it. It is so good. I had to stop myself because I don't really eat out that much, and then I especially very rarely eat at Chick Fil A. And I got a pimento chicken sandwich like 4 times in 3 days. I was like, we gotta control ourselves here. This is getting out
You
of
sound
hand.
like Tyler.
Hey,
Yeah,
yeah,
my
yeah,
boy
yeah.
lives
When
on that
I,
Chick Fil A,
when he
don't he?
comes to visit,
I literally
he
ate it before we
stays there.
started.
Exactly.
My boy
Hey
lives on
man,
that Chick Fil A.
kind of
It's free, kinda.
still got paid for
POV,
the swipe, you know.
POV. You live in America. It's free, kind of. Or
Not for your parents.
I doubt. Yeah, I doubt Dylan's gonna watch it. Tyler, you gonna watch the vice presidential debate tonight?
No, I gotta register for classes.
Oh, okay.
It opens at 9.
The last debate, as we've discussed before, was sad to say the least. So, in the next episode of American politics being a dark comedy, I was like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll tune in and see what goes on tonight. The time before last, they argued about who had the better golf game, and
That was kind of funny.
then Trump was talking about people eating cats and dogs. So
That was kind of funny.
just what could happen tonight? It's gonna be late at night too. It's at like 9. It's from like 9 to 10:30 or 11.
They're
So,
probably. All right, I'm calling you right now. They're gonna pull up Trump's Black Ops 2 emblems to try to cancel them.
oh, those Xbox Live chats, bro.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
gonna be a heavy hitter.
The emblems in the
yeah.
live chats are going to be bad. But it's the vice presidents, so it's or the
Ah,
vice
that's true.
presidential candidates. So it's JD Vance and what's the other guy's
Tim
name?
Walls.
Tim Walls, yeah. And I I have never watched a vice presidential debate before because I feel like most people pay attention to the presidential one, obviously. So this should be interesting. They're two pretty different fellas, and I wonder if it'll be a cordial. It'll look like old American politics, or it'll just be name calling and fact checking.
I was about to say, don't get your hopes up.
Yeah.
I did for the last one when Trump and Kamala went. I was like, "Here we go, the future of America. This is gonna be good." And then it was absolute horse balls. So hopefully this one can be a little bit better. I've been spending a lot of time driving lately, obviously, as I've said, for work. So I've just been having these random thoughts that come in my head that, help me get from one place to the next. I feel like books, hear me out on this, books are like obsolete now. Like,
What do you mean?
okay, so they're, my point of thinking is my specific, I cannot talk. My specific reasoning is like a nonfiction book, right? Let's say you write a nonfiction book on something. In today's day and age with technology and how fastly things develop and continuously go, if I were to write a nonfiction book on, I don't know, mushrooms, I feel like in a year it would be outdated. Like the rate of research and things that could be added to that. Like I was thinking, I used to read a lot of soccer books growing up, and Christian Pulisic, who's a big American soccer player, I remember reading a book on him, and within like a year, it was completely outdated. Like he went on and did all these other things, played for these other teams, achieved other feats, and I just kind of feel like books now, like nobody really uses physical media anymore. I mean, for some instances, people have it. And then also, I just feel like the rate at which things develop and technology progresses, it's like like the time you would take to write a book and do something, it would already be changed by what's happening. Does that make sense?
I
Yeah,
mean,
for the
it
most
makes
part.
sense. I mean, I don't really read nonfiction books. Like the only books I've read recently are like the Game of Thrones ones. So
And even then, you could get all that stuff online, which
I don't like reading on a screen though. Reading a physical book just hits different.
yeah, I guess there's people who
But
still enjoy the nostalgia or the maybe not nostalgia, but just the having like a physical copy of something in your hands. I just kind of feel like give it time, man. Books are they're gonna die out. Same thing with physical money, like cash and coins. It's gonna be gone.
oh yeah, we got to plug the barely noticed coin. You know, we got that crypto.
Yeah, the
Forgot
barely
about that.
noticed
To the
Bitcoin
second moon.
to the
Yeah.
second moon. The barely noticed
Dylan also
moon.
has a coin. Dylan has Turbo Coin. What's up,
Turbo
Turbo
Max?
coin.
coin.
We discussed this in the pre-chat for this.
Yes.
Do you put anything on your YouTube channel besides that short that you did? Like, do you regularly do anything or not? It's just like every now and then.
Nah,
Nah.
I don't do it. I don't do a
Okay.
thing.
He don't know a thing, bro. He don't
If you
care
want
about
to
no
see the
I
YouTube.
want to.
craziest Athena heist, go to his channel.
That was pretty wild. If you know Sea of Thieves, you know how crazy it is. Which not a lot
See,
of people know Sea of Thieves, so
I feel like people know Sea of Thieves. It had a popularity spike though. Like, I don't think anybody plays
yeah,
it anymore. Why don't pirate games ever stick? Why don't people stay with pirate games?
you didn't stick with the pirate game. Pirate
That's,
game stuck for a while.
that's what I'm saying. No, no. There's first person shooters. There's all these things, but there's never been like a pirate game that people are like, oh yeah, this is sticking around for a while. Like Sea of Thieves had its moment, but same thing with movies. There's not a lot of pirate movies either. There's the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and then there's the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Yeah,
Name
people
me.
love
What's this guy
those.
talking about, Tyler? What is he
That's what
talking
I'm
This
about?
is
saying. Name me 5 other pirate movies beside those.
Okay.
shut up.
So the Backyardigans did a pirate episode.
All right, bro.
Uh, Pirates of the Caribbean, of course.
You can't name that.
Um, um,
That's what I thought. Go ahead,
You got
Tyler.
me
the
in a
other
you got
ones,
me in a box here, all right? It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Pirates of the Caribbean is the only movies you
exact.
need.
They couldn't make anything better.
The
So
first
why try?
3 are like peak cinema.
I rewatched those recently, and man, those are good movies. I haven't seen those in a
I'm
long time.
telling you.
I can't wait till they make the new one with the new female role.
Oh,
I
Jack
just
Sparrow.
for a
cannot
second, I thought you were
wait.
being serious. I was like,
watch
"Are
it.
you serious?" But yeah, knowing Disney, her
It's
name,
not gonna be same without that boy Johnny.
her name will be
No.
Jacqueline Sparrow. It'll be his daughter.
Yeah. I don't even think it's supposed to be that either. It's just somebody new.
Well, we have gotten to our hour mark, so typically we wind down at the hour. Seems like we didn't run out of things to talk about, so maybe we'll have Dylan back on for another time, talk about some stuff. Today, you guys are just getting to know Dylan today. Next time, I'm sure we can have an hour-long conversation on cars, video games, movies, whatever. This was we're testing the
Yeah.
waters, getting them out there.
Maybe I'll start playing video games again.
Maybe he'll get back into video games. Maybe he'll be an actual YouTuber. Maybe he'll start
Maybe
live
he'll be the
streaming.
car guy.
Maybe he'll be the freaking car guy, bro.
I already am a little bit of that.
Tonight was the catalyst. He got back into skateboarding for whatever reason. Tonight might be Dylan puts his little head to sleep on that pillow and he goes, "Man, I should become a YouTuber. When I grow up, I want to be like Crawdaddy. I want to be like Sick Boy."
All right, let's not get too ahead of ourselves now.
This could be the
Or
moment.
inspirations.
This could be, what's it called, like the Nexus Point or something, like the you never know.
Mandela effect.
No,
No,
not even close. Where did you get that from? Okay, Dylan.
Tyler,
Butterfly
definition of
effect.
Mandela effect right now.
No, I wasn't. The Mandela one was the different one. It's like you think something else was.
There
the
you go.
Bernstein Bears thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I'm
All
thinking
right.
of the butterfly effect. Is the butterfly effect?
We almost put him on
Thinking
the
of that.
spot twice with that in the pirate movies. Would have been
Yeah. Why are you doing that?
embarrassing.
Make me think fast, man. I've done a bunch of homework today.
Dylan,
Brain's a little slow.
to this camera, and this camera. Tell the people what you have
Which one?
going on.
This one right here.
Yep,
Or
that
that
one.
one?
No, this one right here.
Oh, to the left.
Yep.
What am I telling them?
What you got going on? You got anything to plug? Anything to say? Last words before we're done.
Nah.
You heard him.
Subscribe to his channel.
I don't really have
Nah.
anything to. I don't got anything to plug.
He said, "Nah,
I'll
Crawdaddy,
save that to where I need it.
Crawdaddy, this camera right
Yes.
here. Last words."
I'm looking. Go subscribe to Turbo Dill and
Uh-huh.
Hey, I
RIP PD.
appreciate that.
I didn't hear that last part. I didn't hear that last part. Say it again.
RIP PD.
R.I.P. PD. Right, Dylan?
R.I.P. PD
Attaboy. Ladies and gentlemen.
and free P Diddy.
Okay.
All right, maybe not that one.
We're going to have to cut that out. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Barely Noticed podcast, and we'll see you next time. See you.
Later.
Yup. Later.